behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Paul Mash TV. Paul Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a great interview coming up for you in just a moment. But before we get into that, don't forget about that subscribe button and click the bell, and you're going to be notified on any new interviews coming your way. And there's a comment section. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're on Facebook, go to facebook.com/PaulMashTV. And you can like the page, inbox us, comment things you see there. We'd love to hear from you. And you can email us as well, paulmashtv, all one word, @gmail.com. And if you're a band or solo artist and want to be on the show, you can use that. But we welcome fan mail as well. So if you're a fan, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. And all this is going to be recapped at the closing credits at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. From Detroit, Michigan, we have speLchek, an awesome artist. And I think you're going to agree. And we're going to get to that interview in just a moment. But first, let's have a quick word from Click Jam. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
We got history, got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me, thinking about what could.
Okay, here we are with the interview, and from Detroit, Michigan, we have speLchek. Thanks for joining us, speLchek.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Paul Mash.
Yeah, no problem. So tell us about how it all started for you as an artist. I mean, as you know, everybody has their start different ways, and I'm sure you got your own way, so tell us your story.
Well, I've actually been singing and doing music since I even knew how to talk. My first recording, believe it or not, I was 18 months old. My dad recorded me singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star." I actually remember all the words and everything. I sang it, with the real notes and everything. It's pretty amazing. That tape got lost, unfortunately. But I was in bands and things like that all the way through high school. I've been, involved in music and making music in some form or fashion for probably over 30 years. But to actually start making my own music and producing it and things like that, it really kind of started when I started screwing up. I got out of the military and I had a little issues with alcohol, and I did a couple of stints in jail, and I just kind of started using writing and the meditation that I got with just putting music together as just a way to cope with the time and things like that. And I started singing little songs for different people, and they were actually telling me, hey, you're pretty good. And so the funny thing is that one time I was in this little county jail or whatever, just writing my little songs like I usually do, and just passing the time. And this younger kid comes over, and I say, hey, what do you think of this? And I sang him a little bit. Now, see, the thing is that most of my early music was like really like kind of gospel-y, almost like a country gospel kind of sound, like something that you would hear like a church would sing, whatever. I was just trying to put something together. Like I said, it was just a time killer. And well, he listened to the little song. He's like, yeah, it's pretty good. He's like, but I only listen to hip hop. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, I could write a hip hop song. And he's like, well, it's not as easy as you think. Not everybody can just write hip hop. I'm like, bro, I could write a hip hop song. And that same night, I wrote my very first hip hop song, and I spit it for him the next day, and he was like, "Holy shit, you can write hip hop!" And it was totally it was actually based on a Bible verse. It was called "Cleaning House." It was about how like if you have like demons in your life, and like a lot of that stuff is metaphorical. I'm not going to get into any like religious type bullshit, but if you have demons in your life and you don't take care of them, then they'll just invite friends and just keep bringing more until your life sucks. Yeah, and it was based on kind of like that. And and I even put like a you remember Inspector Gadget way back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the theme music from Inspector Gadget, I kind of that was like part of the little hook and stuff, and I threw that in there. And eventually one day, I was asked to, hey, would you like to, do that song for the church service or whatever? And I did. And this little 80-year-old little lady walked up to me after this service, and she looked at me and she said, I do not enjoy the rap music. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you or anything. She said, you didn't let me finish, young man. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And she goes, but I just wanted you to know that was wonderful. And it just blew my mind, because if I could win over an 80-year-old little old lady that's never listened to rap music in her entire life, I was like, damn, maybe I should, start doing this for real, And so I started writing them a little more serious, and I started really putting some heart and soul into some songs. And I got a lot of my songs actually practiced and performed for the first time live in front of, freaking rapists and murderers and shit in prisons. And they never once was I told, that was bad or anything. I always, was given praise and whatever. It's still, as an artist, especially in an environment like that, basically those guys just are happy for entertainment. So I wasn't sure if I was really good or if they were just happy, there was some dude dancing in front of them for a minute, or whatever, to kill their time. But I actually had to go to a rehab center after that prison bit. And while I was in that rehab center, I met this guy, and this guy happened to be a minor music producer. And I was continuing to, like, do songs for church services and things like that. And he, like, literally wrote up a contract, like, just something minor, just saying, hey, we're going to work together. And we did. When I got out, it was 2014, and got right into the studio, and I made my first album. It was called The Seven, and it was uh, kind of Bible-y based, but a lot of it was mostly about my life and a lot of the mistakes I made, and trying to convey a message like, hey, don't do this stupid shit that I did. Don't go through all these hardships that I had to go through in order to learn that was stupid, and you don't want to do that. And so it's very, very positive, very inspirational type message. But like I said, a little preachy, a little Bible thumpy, and there's nothing wrong with that, when people are passionate about things. But I kind of evolved, as far as my spiritual walk and shit since then. And I don't, push anything that I believe on anybody else unless they ask. That's actually part of the origin of my name, speLchek. But it was just, that was my foundation. My foundation was, it was basically like a confession. I was saying, look, this is all the dumb shit I did, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm gonna change my life, and you can too. And ever since then, I still had a couple hoops to jump through and things like that. And to make a long story short, because I could talk forever. During one of my prison bits, my wife passed away. My children were taken. I literally lost every single thing I'd ever had in my life, like everything, like the people, like all my possessions, everything, poof, gone in a microsecond, like Job, from the Bible. And I'm like, holy crap, like what am I gonna do? And I was like, well, hell, just keep moving forward, like, because that's what, honestly, I have one rule of my life: don't quit, never quit. I don't care what happens. As long as you don't, and when I mean quit, I mean like fuck life, quit. Don't quit. It's never that bad. Just grit and bear it. You're probably going through a hard lesson, and when you get past it, you're going to be stronger and better. And I kept focused on that, and I got more than I need right now, and I got good people in my life. I'm putting things back together, and I'm finally starting to get back into making music, and I got some good tracks now, and I'm really starting to expand my my message. So it's, I'm not just like being, preachy and stuff like that. I still have some spiritual aspects in the things that I speak about and stuff like that. But it's not like, you must be this way, or you're not as good as these people. That I don't like that type of message. I don't like a point of finger. You have to follow our rules, or else this, or else that. A fear of punishment and things like that. That's not how. That's not how it works, really. But so yeah, I just started, and I kept getting encouraged and kept getting told, do it, and I kind of got screwed over by that producer guy. I had to go to another rehab. I got a little minor violation because I had a drink. I had like a couple drinks one day, and I had to go to rehab for 30 days. And when I went to rehab for 30 days, he literally stole all like 1,000 copies of my album and disappeared. I sold one copy. I made $10. And he took all the rest, but I had all the digital copies and things like that. So I put it all online for free. It's still there right now. If anybody wants it, you go on SoundCloud or BandLab. Just look for speLchek, or sometimes I go by King Mask. Mask is like it's like an anagram for my initials. My real name is Michael Stephen Conkle, with a K. And so he took all my stuff, kind of screwed me over, and la da da da. So I was like, you know what? This was like I said, it was my foundation album anyway. It was supposed to be something that I wanted to inspire people with. I wouldn't really care about making money off of it anyway. So I put it online for free. Anybody can get it. You can download it for free on BandLab, or you can just stream it and listen to it on SoundCloud. Anybody can have it. It's very inspirational. You know, even if you're not, you know, into the Bible or any stuff like that, it'll still something in that album will touch something, you know, as far as an issue you might have had in your life, and like, wow, you know, this guy overcame that. I could probably do it too. You know, it's very uplifting, a positive thing. Like you said, I'm from Detroit originally. I am a avid not one of my little hashtags on a couple of the websites that I dabble in. I call myself the anti-shady. I am not an Eminem fan in any way, shape, or form. I actually grew up listening to ICP a lot, so you can consider me a little bit of a juggalo. You know, I don't run around, you know, like wearing Hatchet Man all over, and I don't got a bunch of crazy tattoos or anything. But you know, that was my kind of like my foundation when I started listening to hip hop. I got into them. And honestly, I just thought they were hilarious, dude. Like I didn't, you know, I'm not running around expecting, you know, like clowns to, you know, take over the world or anything. Some of the silly stuff that they say, but it was just fun. It was fun music, and you know, it had good beats, you know, things like that. And the fans were really a lot of what drawed me to it too, because they're really loyal, you know, fans and things like that. And yeah, once I started, I just didn't stop. And every chance I've gotten since you know, since I've been out, I try to, you know, do one of two things. I'm either making music or I'm teaching other people how to, you know, improve their skill, because I believe growth is infinite, and that you know, no matter what level you start at, you can always get better. Especially if you think you're the worst singer in the world, that's great, because you can only go up from there, you know. But like I said, I talk a lot. So if you want to chime in and ask another question or something, just let me know.
Okay. So I guess you can go to SoundCloud, as you said, and was there another one you said?
Yeah, BandLab, SoundCloud. I'm on YouTube. A lot of this, I have some of my rap songs covers and stuff like that on YouTube, but I also have a lot of I sing as well. I don't just rap. And so I have like some singing covers and things like that on YouTube that a lot of people seem to enjoy. I got some duets with, you know, some people around the world and things like that. I used to use this app called Star Maker quite a bit, and you know, you can do covers of different songs on there. You know, so I'm gonna spread around a little bit, and I don't just I like to mix it up. I even have some heavy metal songs, you know, like thrown in here and there, you know, just cause why not? You know, you know, the message is still generally the same with most of what I, you know, say, you know, like just stay positive, you know, never quit. That's a big one, you know, and that, you know, trust that, you know, everything's going to be all right. You know, as long as you just, you keep positive, treat others the way you want to be treated, and don't quit. You know, things will, in due time, you're going to reap something good if you keep putting good out into the universe. You know, I 100% paid my karma. I used to be an absolute 100% piece of shit. I used to rob my neighbors. I used to steal cars and drive them to the Detroit and sell somebody's $10,000 car for $100 to a drug dealer. You know, like just cause, you know, I had no reason for it. I didn't need these things. I just did these things because I was an idiot. And I literally, during these last year parole, and I'm not bragging about this at all. It's just something I did, and it was just completely like all the weight was lifted off my shoulder. I went directly to, or you know, contacted them through Facebook and things like that, people that I had done things wrong to, like directly. I one specifically that was very kind of emotional for me. I actually got really drunk one night, and I kicked down my neighbor's door. And it's this nice little like 70-year-old lady and her husband. And I kicked down their door while they weren't home, and went in and like ransacked their house and stole a bunch of crap, and just stupid. You know, the next day I woke up with a hangover, like, oh my God, what did I do? But now I feel like an idiot. I didn't want to tell them. Well, I literally walked into their house. I went over there, and they had they have any ill will against me. They had no idea I did it. And I got down on my knees in front of that lady and told her that I'm the one that robbed your house. And if you want me to sit right here and wait for the authorities to come, I will tell them I did it, because I'm not living that life anymore. And she looked me right in the eyes and said, we forgive you. And honestly, every other person that I have come directly to and said, look, I stole from you. I did this to you. I did this, that every single one of them has forgiven me. And you know, remember that show, My Name is Earl, where he made that ginormous list of all the people he did wrong things to? I thought my list was so ginormously long, it would take me 100 lifetimes to complete it. in less than a year, I literally confessed and was forgiven by every single person I had ever wronged in my entire life. And it was just blew my mind. Like it was like it took that quick. And now like I don't have any reason to be afraid of anybody trying to, get revenge against me or anything. All those worries and anxieties, all that shit's just gone. It's just gone. And I don't do anything now to get back into that state of mind, because I personally believe, and this is just my personal belief, that being in hell is not like whatever created us sending us into a freaking fire pit for eternity, because I don't know any good dad that would do that to their kids. I sure as hell wouldn't do it to mine. But it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind of hopelessness, just like where every second feels like a year, and you hate every moment, and you just don't, you give up, you want to give up. And that's what the
Okay,
okay.
that's quite a story there. But everyone be sure to get out there and get that music on the streaming platforms. I know we love you for that. I know you mentioned Eminem earlier. Is he one of your influences, or do you have others as well? I mean, maybe you could mention some of your influences.
Honestly, the first rappers I really started listening to were Kid and Play. I don't know if you remember Kid and Play way back in the day.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of Kid and Play, Digital Underground, Young MC, things like that. When, like I said, I first started listening to my first Detroit rappers were ICP. And like I said, I wasn't, I do, yes, I'll claim being a juggalo or whatever, but I'm not like a fanatic about it. But I really did enjoy their music. I thought it was creative and whatever. And so I liked them. Well, then Eminem came out, and I'm like, cool, we got another Detroit rapper, and he was, he's got a lot of skill. And he was odd though. Like his whole style and everything. That first song he came out with, that "Hi, My Name Is," I wasn't even sure it was a rap song when I first listened to it. I was like, this is just different. Like, it's weird. But yeah, I was a fan at first, and then on his second album, he made this skit where one of his alternate personalities calls him Ken Kniff, and he talks like this, and he likes to like rape kids and shit because apparently he thinks that's funny. He has this Ken Kniff guy getting oral sex from Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope, which are the two members of ICP. And one of my best friends growing up down in Detroit called me up like the second, because he bought Eminem's second album, because like I said, we were fans at first. And he called me up in a rage, like, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe what he said about Jay Shaggy, what he did." And from that moment on, we're like, fuck Eminem. And slowly but surely, I've started to notice things about that guy too. That I just see. I think his influence on society and on a lot of. I feel like our country has become desensitized to like the moral standards that we had, just because this not all because of him. I'm not putting all the blame on him, but he was a major influence. I mean, this guy said some things that were absolutely asinine and ridiculous. Like he's literally like praising like taking drugs and raping sluts and pointing his message directly towards like children, and then laughing about it like, I'm just kidding, and if you believe me, you're an idiot, But kids do believe shit like that, and he got away with it, freedom of speech. What are you gonna do? Blah blah blah. And just it hid behind this this facade of I'm just joking, but maybe I'm really not. Blah, 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 blah. And then he was just totally evil and aiming at children. And then well, look at me now. Now you want to look at my real life and pity me because I had to grow up in a little shitty house, and he never even lived in Detroit, by the way. Motherfucker lived in Warren, and he was born in Missouri. Okay, so he's a freaking poser from the first place. He never fucking lived in Detroit. He don't claim Detroit. Just because he had a couple black friends that lived in Detroit doesn't mean he's a freaking Detroit native. He's not a Detroiter. He's just somebody that, hey, nobody's really claiming Detroit. Like worldwide or whatever. So I'm gonna claim Detroit. But his message just got more and more arrogant. And as these children that started out in 99 when he came out with his first album, they started growing and growing and growing. Then he started changing his message. Oh, well now, hey, now I don't do drugs anymore. Hey, now me and Elton John are friends and I like homosexuals. He started cleaning up his image because now he wants to be publicly accepted. And all of those kids that were listening to him at first are now 30, 40 years old, and they're going to be running the country, and they all love him and treat him like a god. He's setting himself up for something big, and I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I'm thinking possibly something like political. Donald Trump, who we're not even going to get into that motherfucker, but what he did was literally show our entire country that you don't have to know jack shit about politics to become the president. All you got to do is be popular enough. And some really like odd mother. Yeah, I mean, you tell me like if Dwayne Johnson or somebody like that ran for president, people wouldn't vote for him. I guarantee they would. You know, everybody would be like, "Hell yeah, we want The Rock to be our president. Dude, it would be the coolest country in the world. You know, The Rock as a president." But that man has he had, first of all, he has Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre is like the first rapping billionaire due to selling Beats Audio or Beats by Dre. He has all the financial backing and everything that he could ever need to literally, I don't know if you're going to become a president, but he could get into Senate, he can get all and just influence things to a higher degree than he even has now, demoralizing the foundations that our country was built on. And I'm not trying to say, we have to all be perfect and we have to all do this or that, but our acceptance of absolutely like just asinine bullshit and the things that he just made into, just everyday bullshit, everyday things that are just, that's cool, whatever, not a big deal. Those things were a huge deal, just not even like 50, 60 years ago. People were walking out of movie theaters when Clark Gable said, damn, once. And now you can say cock shit, motherfucker, pussy, bitch, or whatever. Say anything you want, and if anybody says that you're wrong for spreading that kind of a hateful or a message that's teaching our youth and things like that to do retarded, stupid things. If you say that those people are bad, no, you're the bad person because you're censoring me or you're telling me I'm wrong. Well, you know what? Life has to have rules, because if it doesn't, everything gets out of balance, and eventually we're going to fall. And I don't want to see the country fall. I don't want to see our youth fall. I don't want to see our government fall. I don't want to see things fall down, but we're heading in that direction quickly. And he was a major part of that, I mean, in the last 20 years, things have switched to the point where, I'm hearing things on a daily basis that I'm like, when did this become a normal thing that I see every day on television and stuff like that now? Like, and everybody accepts it. And if you don't accept it, you're an idiot. You're a hater. You're a bad person for not accepting these absolutely taboo things that were that way just when I was growing up. It wasn't that long ago. This in the last 20 years, our entire view on life and what we should accept and not accept has completely flipped. And I think he's a major influence on that, and I don't like him. He's definitely not a god. He does have skill. He has mad skill, but skill isn't everything. And karma's a bitch, and it's going to come back and bite him in the ass. I guarantee it is. And I wouldn't mind being a little bit of karma's bitch slap that comes out of it. And if you do listen to some of my music, I take a lot of shots at that, like serious ones. Hey, he's the rap god right now or whatever, he claims himself, and I'm nobody. I'm speLchek. Who the frick knows who speLchek is? I got a weird name and I don't even spell speLchek right. So but that is how spiritual things work in sometimes. That person that nobody knows is the one that gets used to destroy the one that everybody thinks and they're looking at as an idol or a god. It was just how bad would it demoralize his freaking godlike status if some autistic freaking ADD can't shut his freaking mouth for 5 seconds to let Paul Mash say something guy just walked up to him face to face and just destroyed him in the mic. Now, I'm not saying I could do it, but I'm not saying I couldn't either. Anything's possible. And I
hear you, man. Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, Kid and Play, man. I hadn't thought about them in a long time.
I love Kid and Play, man. They were so great.
We got a song that's getting ready to come up here in just a minute. It's called Special. Is there a story behind that song? Maybe you could talk to us about
that. Special is actually the very first song that I I made the beat. I obviously I wrote it. I performed it 100% by me. It's my very first self-produced track ever. It's still one of my favorites. It has a little bit of Eminem stuff in it, and things of that nature. So you'll hear it, but it's it's a little silly, because like I said, I got a little bit of ICP influence and things like that. The chorus is I'm a special kind of mental case. I go nuts when I hear crazy bass, things like that. But it's silly, but it's serious at the same time. Like I said, it's my very first recorded track, personally. So it's not like the greatest studio quality or anything like that. But one of these days, I will be able to, rebuild my, my equipment and things like that, and I'll re-record things and get them all nice and pretty. And I'd like to put out my next album by New Year's Eve, or by New Year's 2022, and that will be called We Over Me, WE over me. You know, basically saying like together we can do anything, and just me by myself, I'm nothing. You know, that's the basis of that. And yeah, and Special will most likely be on that album, and it'll be remastered, and it'll be digital and beautiful. But yeah, so this is kind of a rough draft, but you'll get the idea. So it's still not bad for my very first track ever.
Yeah, it is a pretty good song, and I know everybody out there is just dying to hear it. So we're gonna get.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that in just a second. But I think that's all the time we have right now, speLchek, and we thank you so much for coming by.
Well, thank you for having me, Paul. I appreciate you.
Maybe by the time your new album comes out, maybe we'll have you back on another time. Who knows? You know, so
that would be excellent. I'd be happy. Thank you. I really appreciate your time, brother.
Okay, no problem. And here it is, special right here on Paul Mash TV. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Fuck. Where's my fucking Faygo at? No, the candy apple, the caramel apple. What is it, caramel apple or candy apple? What the? Just where the fuck is it? I'm a special kind of mental case. I go nuts when I hear crazy bass. I spit lyrics that'll melt your face. Cause I'm a special kind of mental case. Yeah, I'm special. Give my Michael 47 like a Super Saiyan on another level. If I ever wanna hit a big girl, I'm calling up Rebel. Or maybe making Trina cause she's all about the bass, no treble. So look at my face and my eyes are crazy. Just look away cause I'm mental. and I'm taking on the devil. I'm a special kind of mental case. I go nuts when I hear crazy bass. I spit lyrics that'll melt your face. Cause I'm a special kind of mental case. Second verse is a little bit longer, with bars just a little bit stronger. Talking shit, then you're gonna be a goner. Knock you out like your neighbor Stephen Bonner. Spit lyrics that'll hit you like a left hook, right hook, uppercut, laying down, looking up. Set my sights on the 666. All of America loves this shit, except for Shady cause they lick big dicks. Bend over for Dre, let him hit that shit. Harmful. Every parent on the planet, you need to keep your eyes on Marshall. He's got a hold of your kids, tell him Lego, Gago, waffle. He wants total control and he ain't gonna stop at partial. Hey Arnold. Let's get to the chopping on a helicopter, an AR with a fucking rocket launcher. Hear the sounds on the scene, I'm a first responder. Was a criminal, but not any longer. I'm cutting evil like a knife through butter. I'm a superhero like no other. I was a bad guy, now I'm a good guy. I'm blending in, walking in plain sight. Eminem is starring in the main fight, but I'm taking on anyone who hates light. I'm a special kind of mental case. I go nuts when I hear crazy bass. I spit lyrics that'll melt your face. Cause I'm a special kind of mental case. Ha! Despicable. Some say I'm an unstable individual. Anybody wanna say it to my face, you can get a triggerful. Just playing. Don't take everything I say literal. Unless it's spiritual, it's a miracle. Every time another person open up the eyes, I know my music's working and I get energized. God is using me to better their lives. I ask, I seek, I knock, I find. This is my calling and I'm willing to die. But not today, bitches, cause it ain't time. Do you only listen cause my shit rhymes? Should I just glorify committing crimes? I use the talent I'm given, this is my reason for living. This truth that I'm spitting. Everyone is forgiven, but your life will be worthless if you keep on sinning. Time don't spot, this planet beyond just keeps spinning and spinning. And listen to the 7 to get my full message from the very beginning. I ain't losing, I'm winning. I'm a special kind of mental case. I go nuts when I hear crazy bass. I spit lyrics that'll melt your face. Cause I'm a special kind of mental case. Special. Mental. Something. Nothing. Shit's supposed to fade out right here. Why doesn't it fade? Why doesn't it fade out right here? Why can't I fucking make the program?
I don't know. What the?
Dude,
fuck
just
you.
fucking make it work.
Fuck
make it fucking
you.
fade out. Whatever, asshole.